Available on demand every day in iTunes and the Google Play Store. And around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Hey, Rob, Oscar, I'm reading USA Today here. Did you see this? NBC Sports play-by-play announcer Al Michaels, who's delivered some of the most memorable calls in recent sports history, was arrested Friday night.
I didn't see that.
He was arrested Friday night on DUI charges after...
It sounds so believable.
Well, it's believable because
it sounds like we were just having a real conversation.
Mike, I don't take the USA Today.
It's active.
That might be the jivest open we've ever had for a character bit in my life.
I did see the paper.
Say, Rochester. Did you hear that there's something in the... Anyway, back to Buzz.
And now back to the show. He allegedly made a U-turn in Santa Monica, according to police, and spent several hours in jail. He's the play-by-play man on Sunday Night Football, and was made famous at the 1980 Winter Olympics.
Buzz, I think there might be someone at the door.
I can't imagine who it would be.
What?
I'm out of here.
I'll get it. Yeah, please do. Oscar, can you get the door, please?
Much appreciated.
All these
Can you
people
please get that?
Jeez.
Hey, it's Al Michaels.
Do you believe in miracles?
You okay, buddy?
What do you mean, am I okay?
Well, it's just you didn't take the most direct line into the studio.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about. I'm fine.
Okay, would you like to have a seat?
Al Michaels, Sunday Night Football.
Thank you for joining us.
Al?
I'm here.
Would you like to have a seat?
Well, I'll sit down right over here.
Eyelids look a little heavy.
Heavy eyelids indeed.
Hey, bud.
How are you doing today?
What's your problem?
There's no problem. Into the microphone.
What's your problem?
No, we have no problem.
It's funny
I don't understand what's going on.
It's funny you should come by.
I scheduled an interview?
Well, we were just talking.
Scheduled an interview. I'll do it.
Thank you.
Please.
I'll do it.
Yes, the line that made you famous.
Everyone wants me to do it, so let me get out of the way, because that's especially jive shows. like this one. Do you believe in miracles? How's that? Put that.
A little better. A little bit. Try it one more time.
You seem a little disoriented.
I had a pack of cigarettes.
Mr. Michaels.
You smoker?
I had
no smoking in the studio. So.
Oh. Does Mrs. Michaels know?
I'd rather not discuss my marriage.
What is your beverage of choice?
I like a martini, but
I enjoy this too.
A vodka martini. Oh. Do you believe in miracles?
Better, yeah, that's it.
I was at that great hockey game, and the USA was playing Russia, and back.
Oh no!
Back in the day,
Al, that was 33 years ago.
And then I worked with Madden.
Right, he's good.
Did you see this Summerall funeral?
I didn't see it. I heard
he's
about
gone,
it. Yeah. How does that make you feel?
Oh God!
Really?
We're all dropping like.
Well, you're 68.
So it's gonna be Pat Summerall.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna be Vern Lundquist.
Oh, is Vern next?
Then it's gonna be who the hell's the guy?
Dick Enberg.
There you go. Knock that out of the park.
Mr. Michaels.
Huh?
You're 68 years old.
Oh,
Somebody say you have another.
Look at you. How you doing?
You have another 20 years left in your career.
You're younger than the rest of these guys.
Not
right?
that much younger.
How much younger are you?
I would say 5, 6 years.
Didn't you work? Did you work for ABC?
No, I worked for CBS for a while. I know you don't like him.
Al?
Huh? Yeah, okay.
Al. He never worked for ABC.
Oh, he never did. I'm sorry, I just drifted off for a second. I was just looking at his shirt.
Thinking about the old
Looks
days.
like it's shining.
It's just shiny.
You got a shiny shirt. So what do you want to ask me?
Well, we go a little back. Remember?
Hi, Buzz.
Hi, Al. How you
Love
doing?
working back at Wichita days.
Yeah, wasn't that fun?
I met you first time in Wichita. We went to the TV.
Yeah,
that's right. Who's stammering more? You or me? Okay, very good.
Do you remember, Al, that we've met before, you and I?
Oh,
we met at
I'm not sure I remember you.
We met at Rudy Martzke's house.
And you dressed like a slob.
Yeah, well, it's
the
radio.
hell is that? What are you wearing? A kid's shirt?
That's a Mike
O'Mara show T-shirt.
And who would that ass be?
Who, Mike O'Mara?
Yeah,
you'd actually
it's on the shirt.
Actually,
it's not on the. Is it on his shirt?
You and Mike.
Do you believe in miracles?
Do you know you and Mike would get along just fine? I think a lot of common ground.
I might need a bucket.
Oh,
no, I'm all right,
Mr. Michaels.
But I'll never get behind the wheel after that again. I was at my country club,
right?
And I was in Los Angeles, and we were
in where?
Los Angeles,
California.
Los Angeles, California. Yes. Hey, but good football season coming up.
Yeah,
it should be good.
How about RG?
Can we go back to the driving?
What? You're all asking me questions simultaneously. I can't keep track.
Yeah, I'm sure it's you,
Mr. Michaels.
No.
Real quick.
I'm
I know you want to talk about sports.
I bet you believe in miracles.
We should address. I do. I'd love to. I believe in the miracle of you answering this question.
I do. Al Michaels, ABC.
Could you possibly address what happened,
That's a nice jacket.
and how you got pulled over at 9:30 p.m.
I was very cooperative with the authorities. That's all I'm carrying.
Allegedly inebriated.
I was very cooperative. I was cooperative with the authorities.
Why the
says you
U-turn?
were.
Huh?
Good.
Why the U-turn?
I was going the wrong way. Ass.
Well, I mean, did you forget something?
Oh.
Like maybe?
Did you see that TV anchor that said the F word and got fired?
That's
I did
funny,
see
right?
that. That's unfortunate.
Not fair, man.
Oh, well.
That's not fair. I wouldn't have fired him.
Oh,
No.
really?
We all make mistakes.
Well, of course you
I
did.
made a mistake.
You have made a mistake.
I had
here.
a couple of drinks, and I got behind the wheel of an automobile.
Are you
and I
gonna-
made a U-turn when I shouldn't have made a U-turn. What?
Are you going to be able to turn that around? Are you going to be able to straighten yourself out and continue working?
How about you? Are you going to be able to turn you around? You know, I hear you got a few habits.
Well, I do indeed.
Don't
We
you
all-
have a dude?
we
I know
all
what
have
your
our-
miracle is. Just you're sitting here.
We all
Dude,
have
does
our-
Buzz believe in miracles?
It is,
He
I
almost
do.
dies, and then
Yes.
he comes out and says no.
Hey,
All right, yeah.
do you ever spark up? Do you ever smoke pot?
Oh hell no.
You might
No, why not?
consider-
Deadens the senses.
Oh, not like alcohol.
Sounded like Harry Morgan.
A little bit.
Which would indicate we should end the bit. Thank you.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world.
Hey, Roop, before I forget, I really appreciate you meeting me for lunch. I know how busy you are and how tired you are.
What are friends for, Jerry?
Listen, I really wish you would think about it again, okay?
You're starting up again.
Hey, it's not that big a deal to think. I'm asking you to just think.
I'm thinking. You're always telling me to think. That's all I do is think day and night about it. How can I not think about it? I mean, I've been sitting here at lunch with you, which I knew was the reason you invited me for in the first place, and all I'm sitting here and eating for is to get guilty with you, right?
I'm asking you to take over the show for 6 weeks. I mean, what's 6 weeks?
I'll give you anything, but don't ask me to do 6 weeks. I can't take over the show for 6 weeks. I can't even take over my own life for 6 weeks. And you're asking me to do something that's impossible. Don't you understand? What?
What are you doing down there so late?
It's impossible. I'm trying to tell you that. What do you want? You want the tears to come out of my eyes?
There's gotta be a way you can work it out. It's just 6 weeks.
Rupert,
Mom!
what is it?
Please stop calling me.
Will you give me an answer?
All right, you got the 6 weeks. You happy now?
You're a tough man, Roop.
You gotta be in this business.
Coming to you live from Mike O'Mara's living room studio in the historic radio district of Manassas, Virginia, a bustling suburb of the nation's capital. It's the Mike O'Mara Show, featuring Buzz Burbank with Rob Spiewak and Oscar Santana. And now, from his couch, here's Mike.
Was that the beginning of the De Niro crazy laugh?
I think that was his first crazy
where,
laugh.
where he false starts with a
And watching that again yesterday, what's so great is the laugh is not as crazy in the fantasy when he's with Jerry.
Right.
But when they cut back to him in his basement, he's out of his mind.
You know, that is one of the great movies you never see.
Right, I agree.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah, I
the
don't
king
know
of
why.
comedy, and it should be on television more often, and we don't get a chance
It's not
to see
dark enough for me.
So,
I blame Jerry Lewis.
live from Studio 1K in the Pfeifferplex. Gee, the Pfeifferplex.
It's more pfeiffery today.
Broadcast Center. This is the Mike O'Mara Show. We are downloaded worldwide 70.5 million times, powered by Encore Insurance. We're at MikeO'MaraShow.com, 102.9 FM WTNT in Washington, D.C., in the mighty 1630 AM 1630 KCJJ in Iowa. Today is Tuesday, April 23, 2013, and we are brought to you by Vistaprint.com/TMOS. We've told you before, Vistaprint can print almost anything, and that now includes personalized iPhone cases. Saw some from a business up in Maine.
I saw those are cool, huh?
That, it was kind of cool because the guy posted it, and then Mark got on the thread and posted the plug for Vistaprint. You know, those people at Vistaprint ought to appreciate us going the extra mile.
That's right.
They
That's
should.
free advertising we do.
Always be
HJ's all
closing.
around.
Yeah, it's easy to get an iPhone case. They start at just $9.99. I saw one. Where did I see one yesterday? I went to Brookstone.
Yes.
To see, and I'll tell you about the
Your-
product I was trying
Your
to get at
favorite
Brookstone.
store.
God,
Isn't
What
that a
land
pile of suck?
What a land of suck.
Stuff you really need, reasonably priced.
It's been bad for 30 years, and it's worse than ever.
I'll tell you what I was trying to purchase.
Oh, no.
I was trying to purchase something because I needed for my my pregnant wife, who does not like the TV volume being like this at night when she's going to bed.
Oh my God, you didn't.
But I digress. I'm talking about Vistaprint right now.
Yes.
Starting at $9.99, a good investment for your business. Prospective clients will notice Vistaprint is a small business's best friend. Yes, they are. They offer quality and affordability for marketing and printing. We use them, and listen to this deal on iPhone cases right now. 50% for all TMOS listeners.
Wow.
And if your order tops $30, your shipping is free. That is a fantastic deal. We love Vistaprint. We know you've got the great business cards.
Yes.
Now you get the iPhone cases, and if you send a copy of your iPhone case to Mark Ronick, he'll give you Vistaprint another ad.
That's right.
What?
I'm not sure. Go to Vistaprint.com/TMOS, and we thank you in advance. We want to welcome Cappy Pfeiffer visiting us from California today.
Bravo.
Huge supporter of the show and someone we honor on a daily basis when we say the Pfeifferplex Broadcast Center. So we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
And
Good to
enjoy
be
your
here.
front row seat to the fun. And if you anybody pisses you off, I will remove them immediately.
Okay.
They're very good.
Excellent.
It's you.
Good night, everybody.
So long, Mike.
I knew you always like Buzz best.
Face, Mike.
Just sit there and in the weed house for a week.
It's my acting.
The
That's really
Weed
what it
House.
is.
Yeah, the Weed House. Anyway, on the program today, how is Oscar feeling? Because you left China and the bird flu exploded.
It did explode. It was a little nerve wracking.
And you said you didn't tell us right before the show. You said you didn't tell us that you were actually sick.
Well, I'll say that
Came back with a cold, right?
I looked on the internet at one point and thought, well, if I am sick, what does the bird flu really feel like? And I figured, what are the odds? I think they're like 1,000,000 to 1 or 1,000,000,000 to 1 in China.
Yeah.
Yeah, that many people.
1,000,000,000 to 25.
But see, for you
cases.
look at it that way. I look at that
Yes.
many people as just more folks to put their little ant beaters on door handles.
And
or
they
stuff.
told two
spreading.
friends, and they told two
There was
friends.
a lot of sleeve opening of doors and pushing of buttons
Good,
while I
that's
was there.
wise.
Well,
Is that the custom?
that you
No.
did?
Yeah, that I did.
All I know, and this is
Because I
a
didn't
story.
want to touch things.
This story just popped into my head that my cousin, you met my cousin, the guy that gave us a little boat ride up in Maine. My cousin
Oh,
Billy.
yeah. God, that was great.
Billy was in working for an import-export company, and they did a lot of business with China. He sold opium.
It was
Yes.
wasn't it Vandalay Industries?
Good money in that.
That was George in Seinfeld.
And they went to China, and he tells the story that they're having. I guess in China, the business meetings are extremely formal, where you have a conference table and the one group on one side and the other group on
Yes.
the, and even dinners are very formal, where they sit there, and apparently one of the guys, the elder statesman, the main guy that they were negotiating with, had a cold, and he was hacking and he was kind of wheezing during the whole time, and my cousin describes this moment where they're talking to him, and then he says something in Chinese to one of the waiters or waitresses, and they bring him what looks like a spittoon. And he proceeds to hold one nostril.
Oh,
Right at the middle of the
farmer's
tongue.
knot.
A farmer's knot, like into the.
I thought you said everything. You know, that's so funny because
He
I
told
guess
me that story. I didn't know whether it's true or not, whether they're like that over in China.
I guess the spittoon makes it formal, but it's sort of diffused by the fact that you're blowing phlegm out at a table.
And incidentally, this is a secondhand story related by me, and it's told by one of my family members. So your chances of accuracy,
Yeah.
Let me just say, we would not have gotten the bombers up in Boston because we would have been like, I think he had a purple hat and it had feathers coming out of it. What else did you see, Mr.
Well,
America? No, I thought he was wrong. I thought he was riding a tricycle. That's the way my family would have.
Let
handled
me
that.
give you some logistics. One, I don't have the bird flu, neither does Todd. I will say what has happened is mostly allergy based.
he says this.
But there was a point when I was flying back, because usually I guess when people take these transatlantic flights or transcontinental flights,
Right.
they actually take a day to recover and figure out what their ups and downs are.
Trans-Pacific in your
Yes,
right?
yeah. And as I said,
Transcontinental would be flying from one point to the other across the continent.
Okay.
Or you could conceivably do a transcontinental flight in Asia, but it would just be a much longer continental
By
flight.
the way, does this count as an episode of Oscar's World?
yeah, sure, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
mother effer.
It has a theme, which is great.
Can't wait till this thing dies.
Oscar's World.
Boo. Thing haunts me.
Oscar's World.
Oscar's World.
All right, so
Where
I'm
were
taking
we?
a global flight. I'm on the other side of the planet.
That's right.
All right,
Absolutely.
when you're flying to Asia, When you're flying back, you probably take a day and recover and figure out what is day and what is night because you're flying from the future back to the past. You're 12 hours ahead.
Right.
And we never did that. So what I think set in was kind of like this malaise of
fatigue.
Of
yeah.
my body and my immune system wasn't keeping up with what I had. So I initially thought I got sick. It wasn't. It's simply allergies and congestion. And I've been fighting it ever since.
He says that, and he looks horrible today. His eyes look like Buzz's eyes. Mm-hmm. But the
I don't
thing
think
is,
he looks that bad.
Get a closer
Good
look
day.
at his eyes.
Really?
Yeah,
Now.
they're red. They're red.
They're red.
Could that be the allergies that we're all dealing with?
I don't know because the allergies aren't as bad. They're not nearly as bad as they were last week.
Okay.
We've had cold weather and we've had rain.
I would respect this house and my colleagues and your pregnant wife and not come in if I was truly sick.
I thought you were Germany.
Yes.
I told you guys that, and I mean it. I don't want anybody bringing anything in from now until July.
Right.
After July, after the baby comes,
yes.
about a 2-month wait after that, and then you can, I want you coming in if you're bleeding.
Do what you want.
That's done.
Like I did. Incidentally, and I haven't taken enough crap for that day that I took because I went out with, with Ronick.
Yeah,
No, it's okay.
But you weren't,
I will never ever be honest with our audience again.
Oh.
I won't do
pay.
it.
How dare you?
Because of Sorry, Trip.
You know you're on the air right now, right?
Oh yes, I'm on the air.
You are
I'm on the air right now.
So maybe
Sorry
that
about
that
What
itself
I
was a
thought-
lie.
No, I mean I was honest. I was honest about it. I had too much evening. Sorry.
The only time
happens
I was-
once every 3 years.
I was truly. That's a lie. When I was.
Well, I have too much evening,
Yeah.
but I come in.
Yeah,
Right,
you have too
right.
much evening. Yeah, but you never missed work for too much evening.
This
Right,
is true.
that's what
and
he's
that's
saying.
that's number
what
one
he's
sign.
saying.
That's when,
Yes.
and there are other. Now, if I spend an inordinate amount of time drinking alone, it's just another sign. I remember the list. There's a list.
He is
There's a
Michael
list as to
Mara.
whether you should go to AA or something like that.
Right now, we just need to update your status. You are the not quite as high functioning alcoholic.
Right.
Because
Right.
you've missed a day, but only one.
Nearly
I don't
high
like this
functioning.
subject. Let's continue. Thank you very much.
So, the only time I think we were truly nervous is when we had heard that there was a case, and the government had announced and confirmed a case of bird flu in Beijing, and that's where we were flying back through from Hong Kong. And at that point, we actually looked for masks in the pharmacy at the airport and the pharmacy on the way there. They don't sell them, which is the
Really?
weirdest thing in the world.
You should have
They sell
gotten-
Band-Aids, but they don't sell masks for your mouth.
How about Halloween masks?
They might have those. They had a ton of masks.
Oh, it'd be
Ultra
great. He
masks.
could be Obama.
Or a goalie mask or a hockey mask.
That would also be
like
good.
Jason.
What could go
Or
wrong?
look like the kid from the movie Mask.
But watching
Rocky
that-
Dennis.
Now, see, that had no relatable to that at all. You shoehorn that in because you like to talk about the guy with the deformed head.
I think he was very brave.
Played by what actor?
Eric Stoltz.
Excellent.
And Cher and Sam Elliott.
Redeemed himself.
And what other movie did Eric Stoltz make himself famous in?
Oh, well, Pulp Fiction.
Oh, Rob is on the same page.
On fire.
He has the great...
Craig caller.
Yes, hang on.
So what I thought was nerve wracking is that you figure that there's so much censorship in the Chinese government simply because of their politics.
Right.
That if they had to come out and actually confirm that they had one case at that point a couple weeks ago in Beijing of bird flu, how many cases were there really out there that they weren't
Exactly.
confirming? Because there was these mass killings of swine, 800 pigs that just ended up dead all of a sudden. That they were just saying, "Oh, no big deal. This isn't associated to the swine flu."
So they knew that there's obviously it's
Something
an animal-borne
was-
illness.
Something was happening, and
I never thought about it. Is swine flu carried by swine?
you also
I don't dig on swine.
You also
It is, but they were worried that the pigs would carry the bird flu virus from the birds to the human.
and pigs, since you mentioned Pulp Fiction before, eat and root in their own S.
That's true. That's right.
So this type of news affects all different chains.
You know,
and
Mike, I'm sorry, Oscar, but sewer rat may taste like pumpkin pie, but I'm not going to eat the filthy MFer. I'm sorry, Oscar. I defer.
No. Please.
Now I'm thinking.
I'm done. I'm tapping
It's time
out.
to watch it again, isn't it?
I'm out.
Sit down, honey bunny. I'm out. Honey bunny's gonna be cool. Aren't you gonna be cool, honey bunny?
What is Fonzie?
Everybody, put your hands up, or I'll execute everybody. How weird is Amanda Plummer in that movie? How weird is Amanda Plummer? Period.
Mike, yeah.
I mean, she is odd. I'm sorry. Where were
I'll
we?
leave with this. There was one formal dinner where we had a private room
Hey,
in Hong Kong.
I get it.
One of the most formal dinners I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah.
And
They brought out a spittoon for him, too, but not for snot.
and what I loved about it, periodically through the actual dinner, they would bring you a hot towel where all the gentlemen would clean their faces and their hands and their arms. Solid. 2 thumbs up. Yeah, just I felt like they were taking a bath.
You mean they bring a hot towel out?
Yeah, hot, like steaming hot towel.
Now, that's a big thing in the Asian
That was
culture.
awesome.
like that.
Hot towels work.
It was awesome.
Why would you wash your arms at dinner?
Well, I think it's wonderful.
They're
I think
eating seafood.
it's
Some of them are eating seafood.
You know, I think we're pigs. Go to Chipotle and go sit at one of their tables at the middle of lunch hour. They're disgusting. Yeah. Some pig just sits there and doesn't even have the decency to take a napkin and wipe down where he sat. Right. So I got to sit down in somebody else's guacamole fragments and rice pellets.
Hot towels, Rob.
But I will tell you this, Mike: great portions.
Yeah, I mean, if
that's what matters.
If
here.
you like a lot of rice filler,
yeah,
they give you a burrito the size. Your and Buzz is absolutely right too. Yeah. Technically, it's all rice. Mm-hmm. It's rice. It's an incredible business model. But
really screw with them one day and order. Can I have mine without rice, please?
That's what I do. I order without the rice and I double up the meat.
Yeah.
Oh, do you really?
And it fills up the bowl.
Much better.
Do you
much
go
healthier.
to Chipotle?
I haven't in a long time.
Okay,
no.
What's your regular order at Chipotle?
I don't go there because there's rice and everything.
What am I going to do with you two? Honest to God,
I don't.
Live your lives for God's sake.
No, I have Mexican places that I go to that are locally owned that I like a lot better that don't use rice filler.
Chipotle's very healthy though.
Yeah, when I went, I would
not
get
that
rice.
healthy.
If you don't eat all the rice,
What's that?
Not that healthy.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't, I don't eat the tortilla.
Yeah, but
you get the
you
bowl?
get the rice.
I have the bowl.
Do you need all those carbs?
I get brown rice.
Oh, that doesn't make that big a difference.
I know it doesn't make that
big
big
a
difference.
difference. Yeah, you would go double chicken or double meat. You'd have a lot more protein.
Now, you're
that.
gonna win this argument because I'm fat and you're not. But I'm telling you that I go to Chipotle and I get the bowl and I get a little guacamole and I get a little chicken. That's what I get.
I get a
How
lot.
much sour cream do you get?
None.
Oh, I get extra.
Zed bagel
Rob
zero.
takes it all.
Yeah,
Extra
Oscar,
sour cream.
Yeah, Oscar, I get a big tub. I get a big basket of sour cream.
Their sour cream is
believe
exceptional.
with extra lard.
You don't believe what I
A
ordered?
little dab?
None.
I'm
not a sour cream guy. I don't like that. Do you know what a great substitute for sour cream is?
What's that?
Is Greek yogurt. Plain, unflavored Greek yogurt.
I don't know if I could do that.
It's
It's
exactly
the same
same.
thing. You
Sour
won't
cream,
notice.
Sour cream is consistency. It has nothing to do with flavor.
And
it's
you know
exactly
what?
the
To
same.
prove it, this morning for breakfast, I was out of Greek yogurt and I ate 8 ounces of sour cream. And I did not know the difference.
And I'll do anything for food.
It was delicious.
So, do you get the impression when you're over there in the communist side of things,
Yes.
not necessarily Hong Kong, where
Hong
it's
Kong
not
rules.
as commie as
it
Beijing.
rules.
Do you get the sense I know they've got industrial pollution out the ass over there, but do they have sanitation standards? I mean, does it seem clean, or does it seem like with that many people that there's less sanitation? You go to third world countries and you've got
Nothing,
you've got sewage in the streets in some cases.
It's a little, it's comparable to here. There are people that wear gloves. There are people that don't. When I went to one of the trade shows we went to, that when you would shake certain people's hands, they had gloves on. But they had like nice formal gloves.
Those were the blue meanies. Though.
Yeah.
Glove? Hello, glove.
Which I thought was interesting and probably made sense. You got a bunch of people, like 10,000 people walking into your booth.
I mean, with that many people, you would think that so they're aware of the air and sanitation and things like that.
They have sophisticated. I guess the wealthier have sophisticated filtration systems within their house.
Good.
Okay.
And then there, actually, I read an article, and I'm glad you brought this up, and we talked about this briefly in Tech 411. There are a lot of professionals that are looking to leave, that had families leave Beijing, or they're actually trying. They're fighting against any corporate transfers to Beijing simply because of the air purity out there, and the private schools that are out there. You know how much those cost here in the States.
Sure.
They've built domes around their parks because a lot of the kids,
Like Springfield.
yeah, something like that.
The Simpsons movie.
Right.
Yeah,
Simpsons movie.
they built domes so the kids can go outside and play, but they're in a purified air environment.
That's giving up, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's such a bass-ackwards way of doing it. It's just like, we'll still feed our industrial complex, but we will not care about the air. That's very scary.
But it does prevent sunburn.
China, shut up, you. China is going to get on board, I think, when it becomes financially unfeasible, where they've got to,
True enough.
where you get standards about manufacturing and stuff like that. They might eventually.
I
get
think
on board.
that
Mass healthcare and stuff.
I think as far as health is concerned, people take every precaution they can. But it's no different than what you have here. There's a lot of people wearing masks, whether it's for the air or for the germs
domes
in general.
around schools, though.
That's
Not
so
school,
sad.
like the playgrounds.
So playgrounds, so that the
Yes.
kids can actually play
So
outside.
it's a
Sad.
picture
Yes.
your stadium at home, your high school where you grew up with,
Right.
And picture that there's a lot of I guess corporate entities that and their professionals that go there and work there, and they said, look, the air's not clean enough for us to go out on certain days. We want to provide an opportunity for our kids to exercise every day. We're going to build a dome over this.
Hey, kids, go outside and play inside.
And well, as Oscar mentioned, you mentioned before when we were talking about when you first came back that when you went over there, you were dramatically affected physically by the air in China.
We felt worn out at the end of
we
the
were
day.
beat down. I got some articles on Facebook, and they were pretty informative that, for example, the week I was there in New York, the particulate level in the air, that's what they call it, or the index, was 30, and in New York City, but in Beijing it was 250.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Well,
That's amazing.
That's a big difference.
And a lot of that drifts over here.
And you never get the statistics on it because it's a closed society, so you're not going to know how many people that's going to kill, which is going to be
I
significant.
wonder how clean the air is in the Kid Dome. I mean, how do they purify the air in the Kid Dome?
They filter that as well. There are a lot of people that have home filtration systems within their actual houses. Hotels have it as well.
Oh, I thought you were talking water. You mean
no,
air systems?
air filters in your house.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, which is kind of like a air conditioner, but it's
much more
of a
scientific.
filter.
Yeah.
What's an air conditioner but a filtration system as well?
Sort of, yeah, I guess.
Not really. I mean, the air conditioners we have in this country don't really filter unless you spend the big bucks, like Oscar was talking about, and get a sophisticated filtration system that removes particulate matter.
Well, I was
But the
counting
average
that thing
AC
that you
doesn't.
slide into the machine.
Yeah, but see, that doesn't. I mean, they make varying degrees of those, but those are not terribly efficient for taking out pollutants, for example.
Well, I should point you in the direction of Mr. Mike Lucas. He'd probably beg to differ with
It
you.
depends on the filter. I'll bet he has filters that'll do it for you.
He's got them up in my attic.
As a matter of
there you
fact, he
go.
would be with us today, but he's over fixing everything in China.
Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk about that North Dakota anchorman that got fired.
Oh, no.
That's right.
Anchor.
Idiot got fired. A lot of people talking about it today. We were on it yesterday, but we'll stay on it today because he did get fired. We'll take a break, come back with the Mike O'Mara Show. Who that?
Bangles.
Oh.
Walking down your street.
This portion of the Mike O'Mara Show is brought to you by Weight Not. Healthy weight loss just got more affordable. Now there's a range of Weight Not programs to fit most any budget. Weight Not plans start as low as $5 a day, about the cost of a gym membership, and you can accelerate your weight loss, or you can accelerate your weight loss. I said accelerate your weight loss.
You can speed it up.
You can accelerate it based on the pace you like and your budget. With Weight Not, you'll eat the real natural foods you can find in any grocery store. No packaged meals, no meal replacements, no prescriptions, no stimulants, nothing artificial. It's the safe way to lose weight and keep it off. Weight Not has helped thousands read their success stories on the Weight Not Facebook page. If you'd like to find out more, visit weightnot.com. Weight Not, show us what you're made of.
Show us.
Baby. Back at the Mike O'Mara Show. Yesterday, during the Audio Vault, Rob had a great piece of audio. As a matter of fact, I haven't seen it done as well as the clip you had yesterday because
everyone talks over it.
Is there a need by the networks to super chop the F-bombs even when it's deleted?
I think so.
Because they seem to go, we're going to show it to you right now, and then they just have a really quick cut.
I had a motto back when we were on terrestrial, is that when I delete something, like, for example, the S word, I would only bleep the dot on the I. I'm pretty conservative. I'm sorry, I'm pretty liberal with what I bleep and what I don't.
And save it this week for the bonus show.
You got it.
Because I'd really like to play the unedited in case somebody hasn't been able to find it, but you can probably find it.
Proud WVU grad.
Oh, this guy. And look, I think this guy got fired because he just was incompetent. It was it was a mistake to hire him in the first place.
I disagree. I think he was fired because of the follow-up tweets.
Oh, yeah.
I think what happens, and you know this,
that he took it too lightly.
When in the broadcast game, if you misstep, you really need to follow the way management wants you to handle it.
Right.
Everyone has misstepped.
Right.
And he was over, right after his broadcast, he tweeted, well, that couldn't have gone any worse.
Yes.
And that's the last thing you want to do.
And then he did the awkward turtle post where he was being funny about it.
Yeah.
He was just, look, I'm a WVU grad and proud. Let's go Mountaineers.
Yeah. Is that where your degree is from, WVU?
Yes, it is.
You transferred from Arizona.
Dean College.
Oh, Dean College in Boston.
Don't you remember Dean College?
You never did any undergrad work in Arizona.
No. I just laid pipe in Arizona. Just kidding.
And not for a while.
That was just too easy.
That's funny. So you feel for the WVU guy.
No, I don't. He's a douchebag.
He's an idiot.
You know who another WVU grad is? And I know because I looked at his resume.
Who?
You've told us, yeah.
Sean Anderson.
Boy, they just churn out the talent.
Do you know why I'm obsessed with Sean Anderson?
Why?
Is it that
Because-
look he gives you?
Well, no. I mean, he's not a particularly compelling human being on any level, at least
So
from my
true.
personal experience with the douche. But I liked him enough, and I hired him at WYRE in Annapolis, and I thought it would have been nice when I sent him a message at the WTOP light years ago when he first started working there, and he blew it off.
Oh, that's
what an
nice.
ass! Because you know what? He probably didn't want to be associated with the shot job.
Sure.
Just hump. So that's why I'm obsessed with him.
Now, if you think,
and I wish him nothing but ill.
If you think AJ F-Bomb was fired because of competence, what you need to do is compare his performance to the lady next to him who's still working there. She's no better.
Right.
I mean, you're looking at the Bismarck Weekend NBC
But that's
affiliate.
where you cut your teeth. That's probably his first job out of college.
But I don't think it was incompetency that got him.
No, I think that it was probably his attitude.
You have to take, I know from my buddies that went to American University with me and that were in television, wanted to be in television, and a lot of them sort of lingered in certain markets a little longer than they wanted. Some of them are out of television now. Then you have the Tony Perkinses of this world that actually went to D.C.
Rocket to the
right
top.
away and then got to the network. But I know that buddies of mine had worked in Tulsa, which is tough, but I have never been more familiar with a small market than I have with North Dakota listening to this tape.
Oh yeah. Says a lot.
Let's play. Do we have the do you have it?
I can get it for you in a moment.
All right, get me a copy of the mistake the kid made.
A few observations. One, it's so strange when you come out of college, you think everything's fair and everything's just and everything really works the way you want it to work. And what you realize, especially in broadcasting, it really doesn't work the way you want it to work. It works the way the station manager and your program director or your producer want it to work.
Right.
And I think...
And you can get lucky if you get a good internship. I tell that to kids all the time. Say, what do I do? I said, go to a city school. Because really, a city school is going to give you a chance to get proximity where you can go like from your dorm to the TV or the radio station and then get in the door. Get in the door and do it that way.
This gentleman's response after he actually
and then someday you may have a podcast in your own living room.
goes through his tweets.
Someday.
When he announces about his imminent firing, he writes, unfortunately, KF...
Or his imminent
firing. Has decided to let me go, he wrote. He goes, rookie mistake, I'm a free agent. Can't help but laugh to myself and stay positive. Wish I didn't trip over my freaking shoes out of the gate, he wrote. Now, that's an honest, I guess, casual remark, but what I would say...
And he's probably going out of his mind because of the pressure and the stress, and now that this has gone...
Good luck finding work.
Viral. But he's not, I mean, you know what I thought about when I watched this kid? I said to myself, the news director... I'm just talking about the level of talent for the kid. I know the lady doesn't have any skill. Is that what we got?
Apparently
so. Is that? I mean, even in North Dakota, you're on the magic box. It's high definition. You're on television. That's what we're churning out of our broadcasting program.
You have to think about also the media landscape. If someone came to you right now and said, I want to get into radio, what would you do?
I would say run.
Terrestrial radio.
Yeah, I would say run the other way. I've said it to a lot of people.
I would say run away simply because the dollars aren't there at mid-level anymore. So you can't do it at a mid-level and feed a family if you want to have a family. So you can't. That's how small the salaries are.
Oscar will back me up. It didn't exist 20 years ago either.
It didn't. But the reality is now that there are so many more cases of people losing their jobs, not just in radio, but in TV as well.
Right.
And where the pay structures have gone. How many deals have you heard of?
You know what? You're right. You know what? I missed that. And we have to point that out. If somebody wants to know, hey, how is that dullard getting an anchor job? Because they're paying him absolutely nothing.
He's super cheap.
I mean, money. They're paying him money that
minimum
you can't,
wage.
You
perhaps.
can't. You can't
live on.
And they're saying, you want to be on TV? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So they can pay Matt up at NBC, $18 million a year. That's what it's always been. It's ridiculous.
I have the clip here, and for your benefit, it is uncensored. We can censor it after the fact,
okay?
So you can actually hear how it went down.
Podcast people enjoy the if you've got spoiled children,
the following is not safe for work.
Turn down your iPod. Sunday on NBC North Dakota News, your news leader in high definition.
Gay fucking shit.
Good evening, I'm Van Tu. You may have seen our newest report, AJ, on NBC North Dakota News, and he'll be joining the weekend news team as my co-anchor.
No, he won't.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, AJ.
Thanks, Van. I'm very excited. I graduated from West Virginia University, and I'm used to.
All right, let me stop right there. Here's a little something Mr. Burbank and I will agree on regarding junior broadcasters. All right, there are little things in the English language called consonants.
Yes,
they must be pronounced
Right.
if you're going to be a broadcaster. And I'm so sick of Ryan Lochte speak that is
it's funny.
permeating our youth now. It's ridiculous.
Actually, you made a point of this earlier in the show without even trying. When you were doing Drunk Al Michaels,
Right.
you were doing exactly what you don't do when you
lot
talk
of-
on television or the
sadly,
radio.
A lot of young people talk that way now, without any diction, without any clarity to their speech, to their words. So you can't really even understand what they're saying, and it's just laziness.
But I have to say that I don't want to reflect on the broadcasting school or the School of Journalism at West Virginia University. I think this guy, he was just super nervous, and that's why I don't.
Yeah, he's super nervous, but even when you're super nervous, I was nervous with my first air shift. I was as nervous. I didn't sleep the night before. But your S's and your T's, you
I'm
pronounce
not talking. He clearly can't speak.
But even if you're nervous when that red light goes on, I mean, didn't they teach him in broadcast
Guys.
school that the red light means don't say gay effing S?
Were you always perfect in broadcasting?
I didn't say gay effing S when the red light
Yeah,
went
but
on.
you smoked weed in the hallway and got in trouble.
But that
we're not all perfect.
But that didn't go out on the air.
And the other thing that needs to be said is when
smoked weed in the hallway.
It actually made the program better.
when Buzz smoked weed, he came in and he said, "Yes, I did smoke marijuana." He said every consonant.
Here's my point. Do you think that guy, if he wasn't nervous, if he'd had 3 shows, he'd still be saying, "I'm in Boston right now. You got a problem?"
Of course
with
he
that."
would.
That's the
I
way
think he
do
would
it.
until someone came to him and said, "You have to learn how to speak."
No, nerves don't manifest yourself in lazy speaking. If anything, nerves would make him more
That's
precise.
where you go and learn. The only problem I have with this is his response, his public response.
I think when we're talking about journalism schools, when we're talking about getting a degree in broadcast journalism, it was never said to me during my career at American University. Nobody ever said it. You don't hear it. The only time I heard it was in the theater program.
True enough.
And I had a director who was a Broadway director that came up to Marist College in Poughkeepsie, New York, and he screamed at all of us. And he screamed. He said, "S's and T's, pronounce the word so we can hear it." And he wanted projection, and he wanted volume, and it was just, I think that somehow people are afraid
That's a lost art.
to say,
My
Just
first
clarity.
radio station had a banner in the control room that spelled out the following phrase: W, not W.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, really, the way it's commonly
Right.
mistaken, made a mistake, you will hear W.
Right.
W.
Yes.
This is WYRE.
Right.
And I had a million
Lazy.
DJs that I hired that were
W.
WYRE. I said, no, it's W. And if you start with that, everything else follows. I'm just saying, you'll never hear anybody that's on the network level do that. And besides this guy being incredibly nervous, he made the mistake. I mean,
The way he reacted,
it just scares me about North Dakota.
I know what you're
television.
saying
On
about
Twitter.
the reaction, but I just don't understand how he got out of broadcast school with
Guys,
that poor.
That's my
they're not
question,
paying
too. How did
baby
that happen?
DJs in
Doesn't
top
matter
10
what you're
markets.
paying.
Wait, what did you say, Cappy? What was that?
That's kind of my question too. And you guys have all had your starts in front of the mic, but you would have been prepped for that. You would have studied for it. You would have rehearsed for it. How did this guy get so far?
You would know to use diction and not mumble and not talk when the light goes on.
I don't know.
And
No,
not
no,
to
I don't
swear,
think so. I don't
and
think
not
so.
to keep going.
I
No.
think that you can get through. You get through. Oscar's
you
been through.
should.
Did you get? Were you journalism at WVU?
No, but I audited I would say at least 60 hours.
All right. Well,
of
mine was
journalism
journalism at AU, and no, you're not going to. No one's going to hit you over the. Even back
They
in my
should.
day, nobody's going to hit you. It's more like. It's going to be assumed that you're not doing all that well. And it's amazing. It's just like, for example, when I had a production studio and I was casting people to read radio commercials. And we can speak to this because today you're not looking for people with good baritones and clear ways, like Pat Summerall of announcing.
Right.
What you're looking for is hey, I want to be kind of cool like that. That's
Low key, casual, regular.
I've been
guy
told
delivery.
by more people that want me to do a read that, hey, we just want it to be
less
a little more.
announcery.
Yeah, come on, don't sound like
Casual?
don't sound like an announcer.
You know what the thing they want
I
now
want
is
the
something, and they're
opposite.
using
I
it
want
like
an announcer.
like in I think it's a Mako ad, and they say, "Yeah, and I got it done for free, and free." is
I've
good."
seen that.
Yeah, and it's like
I've seen that.
That's what they look for.
That's what they want, regular guy stuff.
So you get that now. You don't have that with Brian Williams. You don't
No.
have that with Matt Lauer. You don't have the Savannah Guthrie. You've got people that really enunciate the words. But I think our society in general, it's more like, hey, I got to hang.
I can't
Yeah, there we
disagree
go.
with you guys on that
Lazy.
point. I absolutely can't. I guess my only gripe is that I think he would have had a better shot of instead of writing what he wrote or responding the way he did publicly, is to say, rookie mistake. I'm completely embarrassed. I'm better than this. I love another opportunity.
He should have
somewhere
said
else.
that. He
Something
actually
like
should
that.
have said nothing. I think. and let management apologize on his behalf.
Oh yeah, but now that he's lost his job as well.
Well, yeah,
You're both right, but none of that would have happened if he hadn't been a screw up in the first place. That's what drives me crazy.
I feel
don't you care about people, Buzz?
I care desperately.
Okay, very good. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more fun and more thrills. I want to cover something we've never spoken about on this show: the Cinnamon Challenge.
Yeah,
and also, Mike, I got to know about Brookstone.
Oh yeah, Brookstone and what I went to get at Brookstone. We'll be right back.
Sweet and lovely girl, it's true. I love you.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. This segment of our program brought to you by
Encore.
That was fun to watch.
Did you not see my cue?
Sleepy Rob.
Sometimes
Sleepy Rob.
it was a night in my house. I apologize. Normally, you're a little more open with the cue.
Our show is brought to you by
Encore
Insurance Services LLC, the people who bring you this show every weeknight on 102.9 WTNT. Even if you already have life insurance, you might be paying too much.
Encore
may be able to help you just like they helped Oscar. For a free quote, visit smartterm.com or call 866-347-5748. Or, as they say on a television station in North Dakota, call 866-347-5748.
See, that doesn't
They'll
work.
compare rates, help you save. License disclaimer at smartterm.com. Let me appreciate them as much as we
true.
Encore Insurance Services.
Oh God,
You're hired.
SF.
my diction isn't great.
Smart.
I need to
Yeah,
work
but you
on
try to express yourself. You always give it the old college.
You know what
try.
about? I will say this
Whether
about
it be
Oscar.
diction or vocabulary, we all know you're trying.
That's right.
No, he is very good at diction. Have you ever heard him say the word pizza and not hear the K?
All right, 3 times.
it. No, this isn't fun.
Okay.
Pizza.
He popped the peas, too. Welcome back to the show.
Oh, indeed.
Okay, this qualifies yesterday. I talked about the fact that I went to Brookstone. This was a pregnancy trip. We have always, in the O'Mara household, had a debate about...
I have a prediction.
What's that?
Can I play music that I think will apply to what you're going to play?
All right, go ahead.
I can't imagine what it would be.
Thanks for the memories?
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Okay, well, go on, because I have a hunch.
So this was a trip. Carla and I we've argued for a long time about volume levels of televisions.
Yes.
And in this particular case, she's turning in a lot earlier, and she lets me come up, and I always have the same question. Can I turn on the TV?
Hi, honey!
Yes, you can. But she really doesn't want me to run it at any kind of volume because she's reading or she's looking at her Facebook page.
And you're a DJ with a mild hearing loss at this point. Years of wearing headphones.
A huge hearing loss.
Yeah.
Don't do this!
No, feedback.
A huge hearing loss.
Right.
And so a long time ago, I acquired those magic headphones as seen on TV.
See,
Like
that's
TV ears or
Bob
whatever
Hope
they're called.
headphones, we used to call them, because remember, he was so
Bob
deaf at the
Hope.
end. He was so deaf at the end.
Right.
I want to tell you, Dolores, I can't hear the TV.
Hey, that TV is wild.
I'm going to put the TV on right now. Let me see what I can get on there, Dolores. You can't turn it up.
So,
Are you talking about those custom earbuds that you have?
no, these were as seen on TV, and because the TV, the way it was configured, was so convoluted to get to, I never hooked them up.
It's a wireless transmitter from your TV that'll send
Got it.
sound to your Bob Hope headphones.
And so when I got rid of that furniture that I gave you,
Yes, the piano.
and I took that out, now my TV's like open to get to the wires and everything. So I said, we don't have to argue about
Easy
it
to
anymore.
hook up.
I'll put together the as seen on TV magic headphones. And
How many years ago was this purchase?
like at least 6, 7.
Yeah.
wow.
It was sitting there, but Carla had it. Carla had it like in her nightstand. It's like, it's right here. I've got
I said,
it. There's stuff I've lost 20 years ago.
But when you find something like that,
Yeah, I was excited.
That type of technology, there's a
Yes.
couple things that walk through my mind at least.
Right.
One is thank God somebody kept them.
Right.
And then the others, please, baby Jesus, let the technology that was 6 years, was alive 6 years ago, work with the technology that is live
and
today.
man, that is where you are absolutely right.
How did that
Because-
thing dodge 2 yard sales?
I don't
that's
know.
what I
I
wondered.
really don't know. And oh God, do we have some coming up? We've got some fabulous yard sales coming.
Oh, God, I hope we can have another pricing show.
So anyway, I get this thing out, and then I realize that the only audio output that it's going to work are RCA audio and my television doesn't have
those in
Red,
audio. My television
yellow,
has
and white.
My television has one audio
Red and
output.
white.
That's optical.
That optical thing.
Yeah, baby. Welcome to the future.
Well, why can't they get? Well, I don't understand. I mean, I don't.
Does it have an
I sound like Gene Hackman in The Birdcage. I don't understand.
Why doesn't my TV give me black and white?
Does it have an earphone jack?
No, not that I can find.
It does. It does. I'll run up there right now and I'll find it.
On my
There's
TV?
probably a headphone jack.
Because you can adapt that.
Yeah, I'll find it.
There's
right
no
now.
headphone jack. It's not a portable. Why would there be a headphone jack?
Can I just look real
You
quick?
go. I challenge you. A headphone jack on my. And if there's a headphone jack, you've saved the day.
I bet in 6 minutes we go back up there. Oscar's asleep on your bed.
I only spent a half an hour on the
Carla
manual looking for it.
I think you're safe here, Mike.
Carla's up there and she's naked. There's a naked pregnant lady up there.
Yes.
No, she's at work, working hard.
Keep yelling, Oscar. We can't hear you.
No, I read the manual, and there's not. The only thing I saw audio out of that television is that optical thing
That makes sense.
that I left the plastic cover on.
That makes sense
Couple of
because
weeks ago.
not many things are, going out of your TV. Most stuff goes
But
in.
no, it doesn't make sense, Rob, to have only what?
The door's locked. I mean, it's closed.
Well, no, nobody. She's not in there.
It's always closed.
She's not in there. She's not in there. The only thing you will experience,
Yes.
when you open that door will be a lovely bouquet.
Oh, I bet. And that's why you shut the door, right?
Yeah, well,
to preserve it?
Yeah, I may have. Right before the show.
Keep it for
I like to keep it light.
Yeah, that's right.
I like to keep it light.
Sure.
I like to keep it light on the show.
All the
light on your feet.
All
How
the
is it
windows
up
are
there?
sealed.
How's it going up there, Oscar? There we go. No problem at all.
Mike's the only guy. You go into his bedroom, the windows are sealed, and there's a towel rolled up at the foot of the door.
Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll when you go into that bedroom.
Look like the Thriller video.
So I went to. So this thing didn't work because it had RCA cables, and then I see that the one at Brookstone has a USB. And then when I get to Brookstone, they said the USB is just for the charger or the AC.
Okay.
It doesn't have it, does it?
It does.
It does not.
Yeah.
You're lying.
He's
You're
lying.
full of crap.
I swear to God, it does.
It has a headphone
believe
jack.
him.
No, it doesn't have. It has RCA cables.
It has RCA cables going in. It doesn't have RCA cables coming out.
This is the problem. Basically these days, if you hook up a system, you usually want to use HDMI, right? Because
Right.
HDMI gives you video and audio.
Right.
So one of your components that you have hooked up is using old school like RGB cables.
Yes.
So if you
Oh.
if you actually use an HDMI on that component,
But the component is out. It is not. The component is going in. That's input to the TV,
He
not
has you
out.
there,
We
Oscar.
need an output.
so that's it.
That's it.
Oh damn it!
So it's got.
So hold it real quick.
It's got
I'm
the
wrong.
It's got one. I looked
Optical
at it. I looked at the
no
manual.
headphone jack.
It's
What
got
made
one.
What made him come down and say there's a headphone jack?
I said there wasn't a headphone jack.
He was effing with me.
I think he
That's
was.
What, that's
That poor
what he was doing
diction.
before.
Yeah.
It's
But
WVU proud.
Explain to me why, though, there is only one audio output out of the television.
As a rule, you don't need much going
With-
out
with
of a
second-
television.
With
Does
with HDMI, it comes out in that same cable, so you really don't usually need
Does
anything else.
Does your television have Bluetooth? It's a new television.
Yeah, it's a new television.
Yeah, so if it has Bluetooth, you actually would just hook up your Bluetooth and Bluetooth headphones, and you'd be all set.
Yeah.
Or is there
Wow.
an
I
out?
like the way you sound like the NBC guy.
Yeah.
Keith Morrison.
Because that's a brand new television. The odds of it having Bluetooth are probably pretty good.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? I know why I got the TV as cheap as I did.
Why?
Because it's a 3D TV.
No, that's not why it was cheap. It was cheap because it's last year's model.
Yeah, 3D's still expensive.
Okay, I don't know.
But
I had a
have
3D.
you
I'm
examined?
so old. I'm getting so old.
You know your
Now you're
booster
fine.
speaker that's coming out optically?
Yes.
Have you checked that for outputs?
Oh, yeah.
No, I haven't.
Maybe it's got one, yes?
bet it
That's
doesn't.
a good idea.
Oscar, go up and check.
Or you could plug it in. You could plug it into your stereo system. Do you have a stereo system underneath there?
No.
You could put. You could put
television.
There's so
Why
many
should I have
different
a
options.
stereo?
Well,
There's so
bigger-
many different options.
bigger
you can
sound.
use.
Go check the speaker to see if there's an output on it.
That soundbar?
Yeah.
May I ask a question?
Yes, Cappy, hello. And you haven't weighed in for the entire show. What can we do for you?
Hi, my name is Cappy Pfeiffer, and I'm an elk. No, wait. I'm
You're in
sorry.
good company.
Okay. You're in the historic drugstore district.
Yes.
For like 69 cents. That was for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Earplugs for Carla?
Oh, that's interesting.
Earplugs for her, yeah.
That's interesting.
That's a start, sure.
You know what? That's a concept.
That's
Seriously,
right.
those foam ones?
That's less than 35 cents each.
You've met my lovely
and
bride.
then she won't hear the baby when he's crying?
She might not play along. Though.
Won't hear the fire alarm?
I'll look at the TV.
I don't
also.
think that she would go for that because she has to get up in the morning with an alarm, and I don't think she, that's just, I can hear her say, no, I don't want to wear those.
Have you tried the yellow button on your remote that puts on the closed captioning?
Oh, I'm not doing that, Rob.
Why not?
Because I want to hear. I want to hear the sounds.
I want to hear.
You know what a particularly difficult show to watch.
I want to hear the sound.
Is Game of Thrones.
Yes, well, that's difficult to watch under the best situation.
Game of Thrones is da 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 da, and the horses go
right,
and then the dialogue comes in. And it's like.
I hate that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Occasionally on shows, especially with heavy British accents, I will turn on the captioning just so I get a clarity. So I get the words that I would otherwise miss.
I do that.
That's giving up to me.
That's not.
That to me is just quitting.
That's fixing the problem.
Yes.
You could hook up an your SOL with your RCAs. You're absolutely right. You can take
what is this, a spelling bee?
You can take the optical out.
I'm SOL with my RCAs. I'm SOL with my RCAs. What do you think about this, Mark?
I have a solution.
I think that you could.
You do?
Yes. I'm sorry to cut him off.
Go ahead.
So there's an optical out that gives you audio from your DirecTV box. Use that.
Oh.
But you'd have to have an optical in for your headphones.
No, there's an adapter. You can buy that at Radio Shack anywhere.
There's an optical to RCA
yes.
adapter?
All I do is couple things.
Oh, my God. That is a solution. If that's a solution, you rock.
Yes.
That's
amazing.
Wonderful. I didn't know they had such a thing. That's perfect.
Amazon.com,
but then
baby.
he's a conjurer, though. He'll say things and
I'll
make
pull
them
it
up.
right now for you.
I bet I can't find
If
it.
you're pulling optical from the box for his ears and the TV is one more in the series, is the audio going to match?
There's no real delay.
Is there no delay because it's optical?
Hey, but I've got that little genie box up at my TV. I don't have the full-fledged.
It has an audio out. That's what I looked at.
So the genie box has an audio
out.
Genie box,
but it's got an optical audio out.
I'm going to crank it. I swear to God, I'm going to watch the
Good news, Carla.
News 4 live tonight. Mike's ears. We're going to let you watch the news at the volume you love.
Optical to RCA available.
Really?
1172 on Amazon.
Nice.
Okay. You have it here tomorrow.
All right, good.
Well, I'm glad we solved this.
Well, that's it. That's the show.
Yeah, well
Time. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
A note to Mr. Cerrito. Now, listen, I realize that I'm narrow casting with our audience when I talk about hockey.
Yeah.
You know that I'm a hockey fan. I know that the majority of the country does not give a rat's ass about my Washington Capitals. Tonight, they are very challenged because they are only 1 point ahead of the Winnipeg Jets. Yes, Winnipeg in Canada. That's more people that don't care.
Boo.
But I'm going to tell you this right now, that I do believe that Mr. Cerrito, he jinxed us last night.
You big thinkers,
He's one of my best pals.
Right.
You know he's one of my best pals.
Right.
But I believe that he jinxed us last night because the Buffalo Sabres, Jimmy's team,
Yes.
like all teams Buffalo, were not successful in even tying the Winnipeg Jets. And Jimmy got on Facebook and messages and go, cheer for Buffalo, cheer for Buffalo, come on, let's help out the Caps. And I saw that and I go, you're just screwing us right now. You're
Even worse, Mike, after the bottom of it, he wrote, "Hi, Mike O'Mara."
Yeah, he did. Of course.
It was a direct dig.
Of course. And then I bet he was thrilled. I bet in his own way. He might not even admit this ever, but I bet he was thrilled that Buffalo didn't win because Buffalo doesn't have a chance of making the playoffs.
True enough.
So all they can do is screw it up for my team right now, Jimmy.
Jimmy would do something like, "I hope the Caps win and they go to the playoffs and they don't do too bad in the playoffs, Mike."
Rob gets the whole Jimmy thing.
Yeah.
How do we explain
We
the
actually,
Jimmy mindset?
I've been cutting up tape from our Florida trip, and it's a passively aggressive, fatalistic attitude. It's like, we're going to Florida. I'm pretty glad hurricane season's over. Mostly.
It's weird.
It is.
It's weird passive aggressiveness.
Yeah.
So 16 hours ago, this is Jimmy's thread that he starts on my page.
Yeah.
Okay, Caps fans, it goes like this. Let's go Buffalo! I can't hear ya! With a question mark. And then right underneath this, hi, Mike O'Mara. So I'm not even watching the game. And so you get a lot of the different, he gets 21 comments, so he gets a little, Goat, my friend Goat.
William Stillwell.
And Girl and Zoolander, they're all liking this.
Huge Caps fan.
They took the bait. I did. Did I like it? I did.
Yeah.
I wrote.
you have
I wrote
to like it.
So I got sucked in by him.
You did.
And then at the end, we won't win unless I get a "Let's go Buffalo" from some Caps fans. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at this. I said, they're going to lose.
Yeah.
And they might mean the Caps are going to lose tonight. I hate to be that.
Now, if they win, though, they clinch tonight,
They clinch
right?
if they win.
Is it tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
They clinch? Okay. And then he writes, Jimmy writes, ay, ay, ay. And I don't know
what does that even
means.
mean? He sent me the weirdest text yesterday.
Okay, now here's, and then obviously it's getting down to the wire here because he goes, louder.
Oh, boy.
And then he says, you all weren't loud enough. So he's setting us up.
Hope they don't lose by much.
There we go.
Yeah.
But
Just
is the Caps game, it's a home game, right?
It is a home game
So
tonight.
if you wanted to go, you'd have to go to D.C.
Okay, let's see. Well, obviously, the best way to get to Washington is run for office and be elected.
There you go. That's Jimmy Cerrito.
Yes, and incidentally, I'm a nice guy, and I know I've got a lot of people that are Caps fans that enjoy this show, and just wanted to throw it out there to everybody. I'm available tonight. I'm very
Got an
nice.
open evening, do you?
I won't do what I did with Mark. I'll be on my best behavior, and I'll sit next to you. And no, I'm not going to go with it.
You going to destroy the bathroom again out there?
No, I'm not. Yeah. Hey, Mike's in there. Isn't that fun? Yes, Oscar.
While we're asking for things, would it be too selfish to ask? Actually, I'm sorry, not me. Schmosker Fantana.
Yes,
him
what
again?
does Schmosker want?
He seemed to have lost his password and log into HBO, where he likes to watch Game of Thrones online.
I'll hook you up.
So, if anybody's out there, maybe Buzz, I'll put you together with Schmosker Fantana.
I'll hook you up.
Schmosker calls Cycle Selston.
Yes.
I dumped on Game of Thrones last week.
I didn't go far for that.
I dumped on Game of Thrones last week, and it's turned a corner again. I'm back with it.
Yeah.
It won me back over.
What did it?
Gratuitous violence.
I see.
When you have a guy's hand chopped off, that rocks for me.
Yeah.
You know? Well, how about this, you Aye!
Now, that's entertainment.
Well, there's
And don't they have dragons, too?
Well, the dragons rocked.
I do like dragons.
So this is Oscar. You watch the show, correct?
Yes. Well,
So
Schmosker has.
feel free to pop in if I'm getting any of this wrong. The lovely little Khaleesi.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Oh, you named a cat after it.
Mother of Dragons.
And then gave the cat away.
The little blonde princess goes to the big evil bald Emperor Ming guy, and this is literally how I interpret it because I don't know the plot lines.
And you couldn't hear the dialogue.
And she is negotiating because he has an army of 8,000.
She wants the army.
Robotic soldiers. They're not robots, but they'll fall on their swords and they're so battle hardened
Soulless.
and they're so soulless because they were trained
Okay.
to do this. And she wants that, and he's trashing her in her original language.
Yes.
That he doesn't know she speaks fluently. So there's interpreters going on, and he's going, tell that bitch that she cannot have the army, and she'll have to, that bitch, that slut, and he's doing all sorts of ugly things to her, saying all sorts of ugly things to her.
I felt like Khaleesi every time Todd and I jumped into a cab in Beijing.
Because you couldn't communicate.
You sat there, you're like, they're just mother effing us right now.
So through the interpreter, Khaleesi gets the 8,000. She wants to buy the 8,000 army members because she needs this army to take over the world or whatever she wants to do.
Yeah.
But she doesn't. He says, "Tell that slut she doesn't have enough money." And she says, "But I have dragons." Oh, and then he gets intrigued with that, and then she's got dragons. I know I'm running late, but she has dragons, and he says, "I want your biggest dragon. I will give you the 8,000 soldiers." So she gets the dragon, and she gets the she gets the 8,000 soldiers.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Oh yeah, sorry about this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you didn't see it yet, you're
Didn't Buzz
screwed.
give you the password yet?
No, not for me. Go ahead, you can keep
I'm ruining it for you?
No, you're not ruining it for me, but there are people
Well, you're
out there
asking
probably
what the
upset.
good parts were.
Yes.
The good part was, did you watch it? Did you watch it, Pony Boy? No, thank you.
No.
All right, so anyway.
He's fun, isn't it? Great to have him here.
So she gets the soldiers, he gets the dragon, but the dragons like Khaleesi.
Yeah.
And the dragon's on this little leash floating above, and it's doing
Do
Like,
you enjoy the mysticism?
Oh, I do.
Yeah,
I like the violence.
I'm glad you enjoy this. You're starting to sound a little Basement of the Science Building.
That's
just
true.
a little bit.
So Emperor Ming holds onto the dragon.
She likes the dragon.
And the dragon is floating above his head, and he's trying to get away because he doesn't like the evil emperor.
Right.
And then suddenly she turns around, and she says, whatever language you're speaking is my native tongue. I've understood everything. Now, kill the masters, and the army that she now commands kills him and everybody, and then the dragon gives him a little mouth music with the fire and burns up the emperor.
The emperor should have written that into the contract.
It just rocked.
Yeah.
Because they set this guy up for 3 episodes of being nasty to her, and she was just taking it.
What a jerk.
And you root for Khaleesi because she was naked in the fire.
Yeah, you root for her to drop a quarter so you can stare at her vag. Can you say that?
We have Kathy here. Did you behave yourself?
Had a flashback.
Well, I really didn't expect him to say anything like that at all.
No one did.
We'll take a break and come back with
I wonder what she's wearing underneath that.
Magic Audio Vault.
Anything.
Quiet. There's a little plug for Game of Thrones. We have to take a commercial break. We'll come back.
Drop a quarter.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Brought to you by RC Kitchens. It's spring. Time for kids and dogs and socially awkward people.
That's me.
To walk into your home with mud on their boots and all the other crap that comes along with it. The usual dirt and debris, dripping pool water, if you have a pool, mud that I have in my backyard, and not to mention when I have 3 dogs, including mine, Frankie, and Beluga, and my wife's grandfather's dog, Lucy.
Lucy the Wonder Dog, Mike.
Would you like to see my impression of Lucy?
I would.
Anyway,
chilling.
You can get a mudroom from RC Kitchens. They can turn that messy entryway into an organized and attractive mud room. Mud.
It should be more attractive.
They can do it in 1 day. I love to hear that. That's the thing that gets me going.
Isn't that great?
If you'd like to have a whole transformation of your room into a beautiful entryway, and that's usually the crappy part of the house, they can do it for you in 1 day.
Yeah, I always I thought it was embarrassing, and my parents used to yell at me all the time when I would bring guests in through the back, the mudroom through the garage.
Right.
And I always thought, I was like, well, they should make these nicer because they can't always walk through the foyer.
Exactly.
Yeah, because really, to be honest with you, in my home, I don't really want people to see the kind of people that are coming into my house every day.
That's true.
I'd like to have you guys come through a mudroom that was. You're welcome, Cappy. Thank you. Get a mudroom in 1 day. Get it for $300 less when you tell RC Kitchens that you heard it on the Mike O'Mara Show. From D.C. to Delmarva, estimates from RC Kitchens are guaranteed accurate. Even if you're outside the D.C. area, RC Kitchens still might be able to help you. Call on our good friend Rory Callahan. Here's his number, 301-537-3515. That's 301-537-3515 or at rckitchens.com. And we thank you in advance. Let's open up the audio vault for today, Tuesday, April 23rd, 2013. Rob.
You said something yesterday, Mike.
Yeah.
You said you wanted more Ryan Lochte.
I think, he's just like that guy in North Dakota.
I watched the episode last night, the entire episode of What Would Ryan Lochte Do.
You took one for the team.
It really made me hurt in like my shoulders and my face, my joints.
I like the specificity.
And Robert comes down and he says, "Who is this guy?" I said, "This is Ryan Lochte." He says, "The swimmer?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "How does he get a show?"
I would appreciate
Robert is 10.
If you're going to mention his name, you should pronounce it the way he does. Lochte.
In the episode, and thank Christ, it's only 30 minutes, 20 minutes after commercials.
Right.
But it still feels long. And they asked him, they said he was labeled the Great American Douchebag.
Right.
They said, "Ryan, what is a douchebag?"
What's being talked about a lot is Ryan Lochte, the American douchebag. Douchebag, I don't even know. What is douchebag? Like, what is it? What's the definition of it? $200,000 on my wrist.
Now, here's something about the show that I like.
Was that him getting a little bling bling?
What happens is whoever is doing this show has a slight bit of making fun of him after the fact. And so when he says, "I don't even know what a douchebag is," they cut to him with a $200,000 watch.
That's funny.
Saying,
that
is
is
a
funny.
$200,000 watch. Bling, bling. Cheer.
Because he's so stupid
He doesn't get
that
it.
he doesn't have creative control. And he'll let the editors make mincemeat out of him.
Cheer.
I might even watch it now.
No,
terrible.
No. Don't look at
He
it.
has a $200,000 watch?
He does.
Wow. What
And a brother.
Exactly.
And an assistant and all kinds of relatives. Here he is. They did a sneak peek of this week's episode where he comes to our fair city, Washington, D.C.
Oh, God.
And he actually met up and was hitting on some D.C. women.
Excellent.
DC girls are straight to the point. Politics, politics, politics.
Seems like it's getting tougher and tougher to get any kind of laws passed.
And then the Pope goes and resigns.
I guess you can call him like ex-Benedict. You know, I swim, so I don't know much about like all this that's going on. Besides my charity, I really don't get into politics.
Okay, I can buy that.
And incidentally, it's politics.
Politics.
Right.
Politics.
Lazy.
Now, he was on the David Letterman program last night. By the way, Letterman has a new opening sequence, very nice. But Ryan did not really represent himself well. If there was one topic that you thought Ryan Lochte would know, what would you think it would be?
Swimming.
Right. And you ask him a softball question like, what's your strongest stroke? He'd probably get that, right?
I'd say he'd hit it out of the park.
Which is your strong stroke?
Honestly, I don't know.
Is there someone we could call?
Letterman's great.
You might have to call my mom.
So if you and Michael Phelps go head to head, and that won't happen because he's retiring, isn't he? Well, why did he retire?
I don't know. I think he's been in the game for a long time, and I think he just got tired of it.
Too much swimmer's ear.
Yeah, too much swimmer's ear.
His license plate, Mike, on his car is Chia 6. That's Ryan's license plate.
What network is it on?
It's on the E network, I think.
Is that owned by Cabletown?
Is it?
I
don't think so.
I don't know.
I guess if you do a pre-interview with Ryan Lochte, and I know that's still a name, and clearly people remember his name,
right?
But if I'm an interviewer, and
I was just talking about the fact that on all of these talk shows, and this is something that they don't talk about regularly,
right?
But they do a pre-interview,
yes,
and then they give the notes to the host so that the host will be comfortable and the guest will be comfortable, and they'll know what's coming.
Yeah.
So when you sit there and you know that this guy's got one-word answers, I feel like you got to blow him out. You say, look, we're not going to have this guy because he's not compelling.
You know, he's a big get, and he was the second guest last night after a bit too.
They probably know that Letterman's going to have fun with it,
right? Like Letterman with a ball of
Letterman
yarn.
knows exactly what he's getting.
Kind of hot right now.
I don't know. There we go, and he'll be over.
But with Louis Anderson off of Splash, I will start focusing on the Lochte program for you and save you from watching.
See if you're going to grab us one a week.
Chia.
That would be.
Okay, trivia question for Mike O'Mara.
Yeah.
Who was the first person to play at Woodstock in 1969?
Richie Havens.
That's exactly right. We lost him yesterday, age 72.
This is a big loss. Where he is.
Yeah. This is a big loss for music.
Amazing performer, and actually, what's mostly remembered about him, not is that he opened, but for how long his set was. He played for nearly 3 hours, and that was not planned, and he explains why.
No, it was 2 hours and 45 minutes. I did correct it, but no, what it had a lot to do with was that I sang every song I knew. I would go to the back to leave, and they would say, "Would you go do 4 more songs?" And I go, "Sure, no problem." 4 more, and this went on 6 times. That's how the 2 hours and 45 minutes became what it was. At that point, I didn't know what to sing. I sang every song I knew.
He literally sang every song he knew because the opening act for Woodstock was not there yet. So they kept him on for 3 hours.
None of the other bands showed up. So it was just him. He had to keep the thing afloat for nearly 3 hours waiting for any other musical group to appear.
Cool story.
And you know what? It really could have gotten ugly.
Yeah.
It's nice that he did 3 hours because you know what? You had a lot of hopped up people out there. It could have gotten gross and bad and no good.
You know, really, I look back on my life and I was too young for Woodstock at the time, but it would have been so cool to experience something like that.
My parents missed it by that much.
Missed it by that much.
They were in New Jersey, and they almost drove up for it. But the beach was really nice, so they stayed, and therefore they did not get muddy. His biggest hit was actually from the 70s. You probably remember this. George Harrison cover of Here Comes the Sun.
I think I like Richie Havens' version better.
Yeah.
There's a drama in Richie Havens' voice that I always appreciated so much. I think he just made you feel so, I don't know, I can't describe how he makes me feel. It's iconic.
It's really what's great about it is he finished out his life singing commercial jingles. You perhaps remember him from McDonald's and Amtrak. He sang jingles. His voice is the kind that you recognize.
It's warm. It's
without
like,
recognizing.
You know what it is? It to me is the warmth and fuzziness that you get with a Morgan Freeman voiceover.
Precisely. It's the Morgan Freeman of singing.
You get Richie Havens when he sings.
Under-recognized.
Feel the same way.
Havens.
Well, save home Richie Havens. It was unexpected, and 72 in this day and age, too young. And now, Mike, to change the topic, a goat that sounds like a chicken. It's a goat.
A baby goat?
Yeah, like a baby chicken. With that in mind, I don't know if you caught the Celebrity Apprentice on Sunday night.
Didn't have the pleasure.
On the Penn Jillette team was Gary Busey, who has still not yet been eliminated.
That's a good thing.
And his job for their presentation was.
I don't watch The Celebrity Apprentice. It's a protest thing.
Good,
because Trump is such a hump.
I agree.
I can't watch him anymore.
The assignment that Gary Busey got was to go out and acquire Zulu dancers.
Okay.
And this is Gary Busey reflecting on that process.
I confess to them that standing on the plains of South Africa and seeing a mountain range and seeing the full moon over it, the moon represents the power of love a woman carries.
Here we go.
By the way, that's the point when it stops applying to what the question was.
Okay.
Let's continue.
And pretty soon, with the clouds and the feeling you have of a woman, that moon turns into a heart. And that heart integrates with your heart, and you're sharing culture and nature and the significance of sharing a love with each other that comes from the beginning of romance. And the word romance, R-O-M-A-N-C-E, stands for relying on magnificent and necessary compatible energy, and it's forever flowing in South Africa.
It's not the only thing that's flowing.
Do you think really he has significant others, right? He has the women in his life.
I saw him on Celebrity Wife Swap.
How did they not put rat poison in his Cheerios in the morning?
Who rewired him? You know, how did that happen?
There's a motorcycle accident.
We're hearing
He ain't like Buddy Holly anymore.
We're hearing a highlight of a clip from a television show, which was already edited, and I already have a headache listening to Gary Busey.
Yes.
You're with that man 24/7. You're waking up with him,
Yes.
and if he's sitting there going, "I gotta tell you something," romance, R-O-M-A-N-C-E. I'd sit there. I'd hit him in the head with a hammer.
I was impressed.
I said, hold that thought for a second. I'm just going to go over to the tool drawer. You know? I'll just go.
That is your magic audio.
Thank you very much. We will take a break. Come back with Buzz and news on the Mike O'Mara Show. Everybody. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. We didn't get to it today. Tomorrow, got this from our friends at Mr. Prep. That's a prep service.
Oh, I have the Spanish version. Senor Prep.
I use one thing about every 3 days from them. And
we used to use Prep Boys. Now we use Mr. Prep.
Well, it's Mr. Skin. It's his little
right.
trick. And what Mr. Skin really does, he has like half a page of like Jennifer Hewitt's boobs.
Right.
And then they throw some of these lists out. And I usually hate lists. I really do. But then occasionally they have something that's cool. And this will be a lot of fun. 60 most insane stadium foods. And it has pictures.
Oh, cool.
Excellent. Look forward to it.
And I'm a fat guy.
I look forward to that tomorrow.
And I like talking about food.
We all do, really.
Like your old radio partner, Chad Dukes, when he puts pictures of food up.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, we're discovering new foods.
What I don't like and what I don't want you to do is put pictures up of empty plates on Facebook. And we'll talk about Facebook etiquette tomorrow as well.
We will.
Without further ado, let's get it started. He's chomping at the bit. I've just gone on, and God knows I don't want to do
Quiet
that.
now.
Here's Buzz Burbank.
Thank you, Mike. 30% off on something's pretty good. Pretty good break on a price, right?
Absolutely.
Well, that's Amazon.com. Baby stuff, cell phones, computers, 30% off. It gets better. 50% off on clothes and outdoor gear. 60% on musical instruments and home theater gear, like the stuff you need for upstairs.
Right.
70% on books, headphones, and jewelry. And 75% savings on watches, shoes, and everything from wireless routers to SAT prep kits. That's right now at the Mike O'Mara Show's Amazon page.
At what?
At Mike O'Mara Show's Amazon page.
I've been there before. It's
Save
good.
your money and support your show, and click and bookmark the Amazon link at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
And Mother's Day right around the corner.
That's right.
Graduations.
Father's
We
Day.
really do.
And you know what's awesome?
What?
It's your last time you don't have to buy a Mother's Day gift for Carla. Live it up.
I'm excited.
Yeah, you don't have to do it this year.
I think he does.
I
Yeah,
don't
she's,
think so.
she's with child.
If I can just say this one thing.
Yes.
I wanted to say that during this time of year, we're right around the corner from one of our most important times of the year with Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And if you support us during Christmas, which is great with Amazon, this is the second most important time of the year with all the stuff going on. And it is the number one way that we monetize the show. So please go to Amazon.com/Mike O'Mara. Thank you very much.
Today's top story is about what stupid jerks some people can be. In New York yesterday, security was extra tight as thousands of runners and 500,000 spectators gathered for a 9K race in Central Park, and everyone was thinking about Boston. Runners were forced to put all their belongings in clear plastic bags. One woman was even cited for leaving an empty stroller outside a restroom. And then there's this guy. A man rode a bicycle through the area with a backpack, and he refused to stop for police.
Hey, this is Eric Ronick from Black Gold.
He was up there. He's in Brooklyn.
That's true.
When they finally made him stop, he told them his bag contained a homemade timer.
Oh.
Inside, they found a timer, a box, and some wires. So they cleared the area until they could determine it was not a bomb. The man said he had a timer because he was on his way to New Jersey to play kayak polo. That's how stupid and jerky some people can be.
No, lock him up for a few months.
Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, meanwhile, can barely speak because of his neck injuries, but he's been cooperating with investigators, writing down answers to their questions now that he's been read his rights. He admits he's played an active role in the bombings he says were instigated by his brother. He says their argument was with the U.S. government, not the American people.
Oh, screw
I
you,
know.
douche.
This is just what he says. He says they acted alone with no ties to any terror group and that they did it for religious reasons to protect Islam against attack. But one of his uncles says religion had nothing to do with it. He says the brothers were losers who couldn't or wouldn't fit into American life. Yesterday, Dzhokhar was visited by a federal judge. She read him his rights, told him he was charged with conspiracy and use of a weapon of mass destruction resulting in death, among other charges, and that he could face the death penalty.
Can I stop you there for a second?
I just want to add this. Afterward, the judge pronounced him alert, mentally competent, and fit to stand trial.
And
yes.
CNN, at least the part of CNN I was watching yesterday, Ashley Banfield still looks fetching with those glasses.
Yeah, like her a lot.
But, I'm all for the proper system here. But when we're obsessing with it at this stage of the game, it's too soon. It's too soon for the people that have been through the tragedy up in Boston to do this detailed analysis of the legal aspects. You know, when O.J. Was busted and we had the OJ trial, we became Court TV and we became the game of the American judicial system, and it makes for great TV fodder, but it's very, very uncomfortable to listen to Alan Dershowitz talk about what they should and what they shouldn't do to preserve this man's rights if he is indeed the bomber. I believe he should have his rights, and I believe we should have a fair trial, but it just seems to me when they're criticizing already what the FBI is doing and what this judge is doing, they shouldn't go there. I don't understand what they're going to do and what's going to happen. I hated it. I hated watching it. You know, just like I hate the showing of the bombing 15 times every minute.
Right. And they showed it more this morning.
Yeah, and just having Alan, I think there's going to be time to bring on the talking head legal analyst.
Later.
It's just a little too soon for me.
I agreed. By the way, it's been decided the White House says Dzhokhar will not be tried as an enemy combatant, which means he'll be tried in our civilian court system, not in our military and U.S. intelligence system.
I also want to say on the other side of things, I'm not with Ted Nugent, who says, take him out immediately and stretch his neck. Yeah. I'm not for that either, because I think there's a lot you can learn from this guy about how people become self-radicalized at the very least.
Exactly.
And I still don't necessarily believe that there's not a foreign connection to this.
So today is the day that Mike finally breaks ties with Ted Nugent.
No. Amen. Yeah. Bye-bye, Ted.
That's about time, Mike.
Motor City Madman. F-stick.
A year and a half ago, around the 10th anniversary of 9/11, 3 people were murdered near Boston, nearly decapitated, their bodies covered in marijuana. Investigators in that still open case say that one of their top suspects in that open case is the late Tamerlan Tsarnaev, brother of Dzhokhar.
Really?
In Canada, 2 men have been arrested for plotting a terror attack on a passenger train.
See?
They did have outside help from Al-Qaeda. Authorities say the men were stopped and caught thanks to tips from the Muslim community. And this story can't get much weirder. The lawyer for the Elvis impersonator charged with sending poison to the president and other officials says his client may have been framed by a personal enemy. That enemy is a Tupelo, Mississippi martial arts instructor who's been indicted for child molestation.
Rex Kwon Do.
And a man who's been feuding with the Elvis impersonator by mail.
Grab the arm.
You can get a girl like Charlotte over here.
The other arm.
Finally soaking.
Bow to your sensei.
Finally soaking in at the TSA, it's not a good idea to start letting people carry knives, baseball bats, and hockey sticks onto airplanes. They were ready to start doing that on Thursday until flight attendants, pilots, and other people with common sense spoke up.
How am I going to whittle?
And finally, David Chan loves Chinese food, although he may just call it food. Chan is a Los Angeles attorney who travels a lot, and in his travels, he says he has now dined, he keeps track on a spreadsheet, he's now dined at 6,297 Chinese restaurants. He's been tracking this pattern since 1955.
I bet he strains his stool.
Yeah, I bet he does.
That 6,297th meal was at an Asian diner in Springfield, Missouri. Surely there's a joke about having a Chinese dinner and then having 6,000 more, but we can't for the life of us think of what it is. I'm Buzz Burbank on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Nobody say anything. That's it. We got to get out of here. Welcome to Washington, Cappy.
There she is.
Glad to have you with us. You'll be here with us all week, and we couldn't be happier about that. Our show today was brought to you by Vistaprint.com/TMOS. We've told you before, they can print almost anything. Go out and get your personalized iPhone cases and show it to us on Facebook, and then that'll give a chance for Mark Ronick to put a Vistaprint ad up again on his Facebook page. Very good. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, the list of great food and more fun and more thrills, and another day with my dogs. All three of them.
Mr. Bumpus.
Mr. Bumpus. Hey, you Bumpuses!
Real quick, we have a couple seconds. How much of the day does Lucy stay crated?
24 hours.
A nice job, Pops.
No. I took her out this morning for 3 minutes.
Good boy.
Nice. It's the same schedule you would see at Marion Correctional Facility, the federal penitentiary.
Concentration camp.
We will be back tomorrow. Thank you for making it Jewish, Mark. We appreciate that. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.